Have you ever felt invisible in your own family? Because I did. My name is Emma, and for as long as I can remember, I was the daughter who never seemed good enough. No matter what I achieved, my parents always found a way to make my older sister Chloe the center of attention. When Chloe graduated from college, they threw her a huge party with hundreds of guests. When I graduated with honors, we celebrated with frozen pizza because, according to my mom, money is a little tight right now. I believed her. Years later, I found out they had helped Chloe buy her first house just 2 weeks after my graduation. That wasn't the first lie. It wasn't even the biggest. Every birthday, every Christmas, every family gathering reminded me exactly where I stood. Chloe received expensive gifts, endless praise, and unconditional support. I received advice. Work harder. Be more like your sister. You have to earn everything in life. I stopped asking for approval. Instead, I focused on building a life that didn't depend on them. I earned scholarships, worked late nights, skipped vacations, and quietly started a small software consulting business with a college friend. While everyone assumed I was barely getting by, we slowly built something incredible. I never posted about it online. I never bragged. I simply kept working. Within 10 years, our company was acquired by a major tech firm. My share? Just over $15 million. I stared at my bank account for almost an hour, unable to breathe. Not because of the money itself, but because for the first time in my life, nobody could tell me I wasn't enough. I bought a modest lake house. I paid off every debt I'd ever had. I invested most of the money and quietly continued working because I loved what I did. No luxury cars, no designer clothes, no social media announcements. I wanted peace. But secrets have a strange way of finding daylight. One afternoon, I attended my cousin's wedding. Everything felt normal, until I noticed my parents whispering with Chloe while looking directly at me. Their smiles weren't warm, they were calculating. I didn't understand why, not yet. But what I didn't know that day was that someone had discovered the truth about my business sale, and within 24 hours, the family that barely remembered my birthday suddenly couldn't stop calling. That's when I realized they had never changed. At first, the phone calls sounded innocent. "Sweetheart, we miss you. We should spend more time together. Family is everything." I hadn't heard words like that in years. Then came the real reason. My mother invited me to dinner, insisting she had cooked my favorite meal. The moment dessert arrived, Chloe smiled and slid a folder across the table. "We've been looking at vacation homes," she said. I blinked. "What does that have to do with me?" Dad leaned forward. "You've always been generous." I looked around the table. Nobody asked how I was doing. Nobody congratulated me for years of hard work. Nobody wondered how difficult the journey had been. They only saw a number, 15 million. Then Chloe laughed softly. "I mean, we're family. What's yours is ours, right?" For a moment, I honestly thought she was joking. She wasn't. Mom nodded in agreement. "We sacrificed so much raising you." I almost smiled. Sacrificed? I remembered paying my own college tuition, buying my own first car, working 3 jobs while Chloe's bills disappeared every month. The memories rushed back all at once. Every forgotten birthday, every comparison, every time they chose her over me. I quietly pushed the folder back across the table. "No." Silence filled the room. Dad's face hardened. "So you're choosing money over family?" I took a slow breath. "No. I've spent my whole life choosing family. You were the ones who never chose me." Nobody spoke. I stood up and left. I thought that would be the end. Instead, it became the beginning. Within days, relatives I hadn't spoken to in years suddenly wanted coffee. Old family friends congratulated me. Even Chloe began posting childhood photos online, with captions about the unbreakable bond between sisters. It felt fake because it was. Then came the biggest betrayal. Without asking me, my parents told everyone I had promised to buy them a luxury home. People started congratulating them before I even knew the story existed. When I confronted them, Mom simply shrugged. "We assumed you'd do the right thing." That sentence broke something inside me, not because they wanted money, because they believed they were entitled to everything I had built. That's when the little girl who spent years begging for love finally disappeared, and the woman I had become made a decision. If they only respected success, then they would learn exactly what success looked like without access to it. A month later, I invited the entire family to what they believed was a celebration dinner. Everyone arrived smiling. My parents looked happier than I'd ever seen them. I knew why. They thought I was finally going to announce that I would take care of everyone financially. Instead, I stood up with a small envelope in my hands. I have something important to say. The room became silent. I spent years wondering why I wasn't enough. My parents avoided my eyes. I kept thinking that if I worked harder, became more successful, earned more, maybe I'd finally be treated like family. I paused. But success didn't change your hearts. It only exposed them. I handed my parents the envelope. Inside wasn't a check. It was a letter. The letter explained that I had established a scholarship foundation for students who had to support themselves through college. The kind of students I used to be. Another portion of my money had gone to children's education programs and local shelters. The rest remained invested for my future. There would be no mansion, no luxury vacations, no unlimited family account. I smiled gently. The best thing my struggles gave me was the chance to help people who truly need it. Chloe stood up angrily. So that's it? I looked at her calmly. Yes. She shook her head. You owe us. I answered with words I had waited my entire life to say. No. I owed myself the life you all told me I'd never have. Then I walked away. Over the following months, the phone calls stopped. The invitations disappeared. Family holidays became quiet. Strangely, I had never felt more at peace. I surrounded myself with friends who celebrated my happiness instead of calculating its value. I learned that family isn't measured by blood, it's measured by respect. Today, I still live in my lake house. I still work because I enjoy creating things. And every year, I receive letters from scholarship students whose lives are changing because someone believed in them. Those letters are worth more than $15 million. Looking back, I don't hate my parents anymore. I simply understand them. Their favoritism didn't define my future. My choices did. Sometimes the greatest revenge isn't making people regret losing you. It's building a life so full of peace that their approval no longer matters, and that changed everything.